Remember the first time you saw a car and just thought, wow, imagine owning that? Owning an exotic car is more than just revving engines and turning heads. It's learning about how maintenance costs can fund a small nation, and that how MPG really stands for My Pocket's Gone. Let's take a closer look as to why and how owning an exotic car differs from everything else. This video will be featuring a 2009 Aston Martin V8 Vantage. However, each of the principles and points I make in this video apply to all exotic cars. They will establish the highest of quality materials, sound raw and powerful, and most of all, give a unique experience to the driver and passenger in the car. I'm going to start with something before you even begin driving the car, and that is how special the key is. You have 4 buttons: lock, unlock, trunk popper, and accessory lights. On top of this key though is where the magic happens. A sapphire glass crystal with the Aston Martin logo embedded in it. This is a work of art. Next are the door handles. Most exotics will have a fun way to get in. They're like a Tesla's door handle nowadays, but at the time these were pretty uncommon. You'll see scissor doors, butterfly doors, all the different types of weird doors of how they open up, but most exotics will have some sort of fun way to get inside. Back to our exotic example, the Aston Martin has Swan Doors, which are doors that tilt upwards the further they open. Because it sits so low, if you were to park alongside a curb, you would most likely scrape the door on the curb. But not this car. They were designed with Swan Doors to eliminate a possibility of damage. Now, some of you could probably guess the inside is just as good as the outside. Let's hop in and show you a few examples of this. Traction control, parking sensors, fog lights, and a nub. If you pull this little nub, out comes a pen. That's right, a pen. This pen is an OEM Aston Martin pen that is included in all this era Aston Martins. The cost of this, you ask? $120. We'll leave it at that. Something else odd in this car are the map lights. They are controlled with a button on the center stack. Why couldn't you have just pulled a Toyota where you press the light and it turns on? You would not believe how long it took me to figure this out. Most high-end sports cars have coat hangers for all the business people in their suits, right? And let me tell you, they are useless. Now, there is a shelf back here which is nice. You can put a purse and small backpacks on, but no hanging items are going to be safe from wrinkles. One thing I've noticed in most cars is some sort of e-brake, but of course, Aston Martin has to take it up a notch. At first, you cannot tell if the car is parked with the e-brake or if it's just in neutral. You may be safe, or you're gonna roll down a hill backwards and total your car into a tree. Now, you pull up on the e-brake and you'll hear it ratchet, and then you let it down so that you can actually get out of the car. It's an interesting design, but you do get used to it. The last thing I want to mention on the interior is the glove box. You have a button to open it. It does open really fast and springs out like a WWE fighter on the ropes. Now, looking inside the glove box is an owner's manual. This has got to be one of the coolest owner's manuals out there. Usually they're like books, but this is that fine British leather and has the dimensions of folded newspaper. Overall, very nice and fits perfectly in the glove box. Now for story time. About 2 months after owning this car, inevitably something would go wrong. What is that, you might ask? A screw in the tire. Not one, but there were 2 screws in 2 different tires. Now, how might this happen? The world may never know. Someone probably woke up one day and decided, hey, let's go send the car to the tire shop. In all seriousness, these were luckily able to get patched, but if it needed new tires, they quoted $1,050 for 2 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Unfortunately, high-performance cars require high-performance tires, and those are not cheap. They also relatively wear through pretty fast. Just something to keep in mind. Whether or not you plan on using your exotic as a daily driver or weekend toy, you're going to want a trickle charger, aka a battery tender. This is going to keep your battery fully charged in case you have to leave for a couple of days. Most luxury and high-end manufacturers have a dedicated port for charging. In rear-engine cars, it's typically found in the front. For front-engine cars, you find them in the rear trunk. You simply unplug it when you are ready to drive and set the cord down nearby. This is useful because jump-starting any car can be a pain, but especially with Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Ferraris, McLarens, or Aston Martins, where the batteries are typically found in awkward, hard-to-reach places. Even though the Aston Martin is a two-seater, there's still ample storage space in the trunk. I'm able to fit all my tripods and camera equipment with room to spare. Let me introduce you to the startup ritual of my Aston Martin. Each car has their own way of coming to life. Now, once you are all settled in and the door is shut, the car primes the clutch. You then put the key in halfway to the first position. This folds open the mirrors and preps the fuel pumps. After a couple seconds, the James Bond car is ready to start. Guys, owning an Aston Martin is just something like exquisite on wheels. I don't know how else to describe it. Hearing this car, even from the inside, is just a wild experience. I mean, just kind of, that's just a half stab at the throttle. Any exotic car, it's gonna be absolutely thrilling to drive, and every time you get in it, it's something special, and that's what I think I want to get across. You'll just see the different like cars going by, and then you just know what this looks like on the road. It's a joy that can't be put into words. It's just this matter of feeling it at this point. Just listen to this. Oh my God, like you can't not put a smile on your face after doing something like that. What a magnificent symphony of noise. I still, to this day, go into the garage just to see it parked. It's that special. Thank you so much if you made it this far in the video. I will see you guys in the next one.